Hello. Thank you for joining us here for Get Into It with Taz and I got the Chris.
Yes.
Now tonight is gonna be like a lottery. It's gonna be like a bingo because your girl is ADHD.
And everybody go with the flow. Everybody, please.
Yeah, I got distracted, so I did not mark the videos for tonight. So I cannot give you an introduction. And the videos tonight I didn't get. They were sent to us specifically for this show when I put out a video on TikTok and talked about Wednesday's show. So it's not a whole bunch of videos. It's 3 videos. So yeah, we do have an article. Now the article I did find, because I like to make fun of this person at all costs. It is my life. It is my life goal. So tonight is we really just gonna roll the dice.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, that is what we're
that is Wednesday.
And for those of y'all that are interested in history and what's going on currently in the world, if you have not checked out my APAC series, it has its own playlist here on this channel. And tonight we got into espionage and war and all that juicy good stuff. And if you're not following the Spotify podcast, why? You don't like me? I thought we were friends. What are you doing?
Yeah, Spotify.
And anybody who follows me on TikTok, Mr. Dwayne, y'all know who I'm talking about. I just account warning. He has me back on an account warning, and he keeps harassing me. I cannot respond back because every time I respond back, even though I say, hey, this isn't affecting me, I get a CGV. So if y'all could come through and help your girl out, that'd be great. We'll start with the videos and then we'll end with the article because I know 100% what the article is.
Yeah, let's just go for it.
Yeah, we'll go for the first video. Hope y'all got some popcorn. This video is, sorry, I got the light on me and my glasses on. It's 3 minutes, so get comfortable. I don't know if I should tell y'all to grab your invisible pearls or not. I don't know.
But it's too short for a bathroom break, so everyone just kind of hang tight.
Unless you go potty like puppers, this ain't gonna be a potty break. Yeah. We'll see. Well, I will say 2 and 2, but I guess in this instance 3 and 3.
3 and 3 is 6.
Michael Popak, Legal AF, democracy and justice are messy. And what we're watching right now are various states, Colorado, Michigan, Minnesota, to name just a few, trying to figure out if and how to apply the 14th Amendment Article 3 disqualification provision, which disqualifies anyone who took the oath to defend and protect, serve, whatever you want to call it, the Constitution, from ever holding federal office again if they engaged in insurrection or rebellion. How to apply that, or if to apply that to Donald Trump to keep him off of either the primary ballots to be chosen even at the Republican, as the Republican nominee, or at the presidential ballot level for November. And because it's not clear how to do this, and there's a debate going on, raging in academia about whether the 14th Amendment is self-activating or effectuating, or do you have to go back to Congress to make something happen with a hearing? Most scholars, including Federalist right-wing scholars, say no. All the ones that matter, including former chief justices and others who are right-wing MAGA normally, have all said Donald Trump should be disqualified under the 14th Amendment, Article 3, because he engaged in insurrection or rebellion. So says the Jan 6 committee report, and so says what we're seeing with all the indictments about his conduct and the evidence that supports it. But it's a state-by-state issue, right? And so Colorado just completed a trial in Denver with a trial judge, full evidence, Donald Trump putting on some witnesses and the various plaintiffs putting on witnesses to have the Colorado Secretary of State bar Donald Trump from being on any ballot, primary or presidential. And the judge there already decided, for instance, that she has the power to interpret the Constitution. That's what judges do. They interpret Constitution and laws and statutes all the time. And she doesn't have to go back to Congress for any of that. But Minnesota just came out with a new ruling today, in the Minnesota Supreme Court in particular. Basically what we said was going to happen on Legal AF, our leading podcast this past weekend. And the order is written by the chief judge of the Minnesota Supreme Court, in which she says, I think we're not going to do anything about the Republican primary process, and we'll leave for another day whether we should bar, and there's grounds to bar Donald Trump from the November presidential ballot. And they made that distinction between primaries and presidential election, arguing in her opinion, in her order for the court, it's going to be backed by an opinion we haven't seen yet. A little unusual. They wanted to crank this out quickly because absentee voting starts on January 19th, and they didn't want to delay anything, the printing of ballots and that type of thing. So they issued their order. They announced they were going to do it by 3:00 today. They issued the order, and then they said, we're going to do a full-blown opinion, but to back up the order, but we want to give.
Now, we've discussed the whole 14th Amendment here exhaustively before other people started catching on to it on other social media platforms. So let me explain something. I know a lot of people are getting disheartened by the rulings. All these rulings are saying is that for the primary election, let's see what the people want. That's why they're immediately appealing to the appellate courts, because the appellate courts take some time. So after the primary, that's when they'll get their court date. Now, what I'm putting down, because there's no precedent when it comes to a president. And for those of y'all that like to argue with me in comment sections going, he needs to be convicted first. No, he doesn't. Because the last time this rule was used was shortly after the Civil War. And there were people who were not convicted that were removed from office and prevented from taking office in the future. This is why we got the statement from the Confederacy saying, hey, put away the flags, do not erect any statues in our honor, etc., etc. A conviction is not needed. But since there's no precedent when it comes to a former president, they're being cautious, because we know how things go in the United States. This is why people can now sue a restaurant because they ordered coffee and then put the coffee in their lap and drove off and sped up to a red light and hit the brakes and get their hoo-ha burnt, and then they sue and get hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have to realize this is kind of something we put into place because we allowed stuff to go on. And before you go, Taz, I didn't allow it. I'm saying we, because juries exist. And juries help with precedent.
And if you think about the fact of, well, number one, that history means a lot comes back to the fact that you have a lot of people that just don't know when somebody can, like you were stating, whether there was a conviction needed or not. So for the defense on the right, they're going to play that game of he wasn't, he's going to play to their masses, to their fan base of how could this be possible? He hasn't been convicted, and just let him run. The people will decide if they want him or not. There's disqualifying factors, and there's many of people that can't run, and there's those that should never run. And this is major because, as we know, you're just setting up for something that doesn't allow for just now, but this is something that going into the future would disqualify people based on their actions, whether they're convicted or not. So this does mean a lot. I know it has to go state to state, and we know how some states are. but this does mean a lot when it comes to the presidential ballot compared to the primary. So there is a difference. Just because he might be allowed on the primary doesn't mean going forward that all states are aboard on this and that. So,
and can y'all stop with this? Oh, the Democrats are going after him. As I've explained extensively on this podcast, the people fighting for him to be removed from the ballot or across all political spectrums.
Yeah.
And y'all might want to go back and check on my blog. I wrote a blog about this. Stop assigning things across political lines because it allows you to dehumanize people and have a false sense of reality, because there's no place where there aren't independents, where there aren't members of the People's Party, the Reform Party, the Democratic Party. Like, all of us are neighbors.
Yeah. Right.
I'm registered under the Pink Party. And yes, the Pink Party is a thing. I don't classify myself politically because, as y'all know, I criticize everybody. I got a problem with everybody.
But when you can sit back and use your own personal judgment, like I said, everyone knows I'm not affiliated. I'm unaffiliated. So the way I go into it is, yes, I grew up in a Republican household. That didn't alter my decision making because I wasn't old enough. I was a kid. I wasn't even a voter. As an adult, I began to just use my own gut instinct, knowledge, my desire to look into things. Because when you start learning about people or learning about parties or learning about, important matters for the public and the communities and what people, how people should be treated and what should be equal and what should be fair. And when you start looking at the world as, or at least this country as, there are so much representation in this nation. How can we get so tunnel vision into one community or one race or one? We have to create we have to be more open to what's fair, what's across the board, this shouldn't benefit one person, but yet your neighbor doesn't benefit the same. It's such a, we're such a melting pot, and there's those that hate the fact that we're a melting pot, but we are. We've been a melting pot since the natives saw a ship arrive.
Well, I don't want to say we're a melting pot. I want to say we're more of a stew, because we don't melt and conglomerate with each other. But here's the thing. This is what I think is funny about our friendship, and you know the history of our friendship. And for those of y'all that are new, Chris and I got kicked out of a group. Okay.
Yes.
It's still funny because the founder of the group is working hard to win me over on Instagram, and I'm like, until you apologize to me and my friend, we're not coming back, because word on the street is that group started going downhill when we didn't have movie trivia from you, and we didn't have, you know what we used to do. I tried
to give the group an evening of interaction. Like, this was a time to get people together, because there really wasn't something.
Y'all don't know. Chris and I, and it wasn't planned. It was like, I got a night, he got a night. It was not anything that we planned. Where we're fun people. Like, we want people to enjoy stuff. So he would do movie trivia. I would do like different little trivia, like, hey. And my trivia was about, because y'all know I love food, okay? Especially anything that's in potato form. So I was like trying to give people like different recipes, like make it at home, do a date night with this, like stuff like that. We was trying to be fun. But here's the thing. People don't pay attention to our friendship because they don't get why we're so open-minded.
Right.
If y'all were to see the conversation, first of all, you get to see the conversations we have behind the scenes, because we have them every week with y'all. How we talk on here. This is how we talk behind the scenes. The only thing is, we're just not sending memes and emojis back and forth. with each other.
Yeah, we don't go into some planned camera mode.
Right. That's the only thing you're missing are the memes and emojis we send back and forth for our jokes. Like, this is just how we talk. And you can't have friends that are going to challenge you. And I can say, Chris and I, we do challenge each other. It's like, oh, did you hear about this? Did you see this on such and such a show?
Right.
What you think about? Why do you think that? Like, we're quick to do. Am I lying, Chris?
Right. Yeah, we definitely, even if we're raising or questioning or inquiring about something, I want to be able to bounce something off of somebody that I know will have a point of view that will look at it for what it is. And it will be based on something other than just an opinion, like, oh, I think it's such and such, or oh, I think it's this and that. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that all day with myself if I really wanted to, but I like to bounce things and have substance in conversation. I like to have things that will challenge my mind or give me new sight. I'm one that always wants to learn. I'm not going to sit here. I'm the last one who will jump into a conversation and be a know-it-all, because I don't. So
just like leading up to tonight's show, we were joking with each other regarding Joe Biden. Like, can you wrap it up? We got a show to do tonight. Can you get to the end? We need to know what you're talking about.
I'll hurry up, Joe B.
Because Joe was talking. Oh my God.
Joe B.
First of all, this meeting started in the afternoon, y'all.
5
I had lunch. I did 2 meetings. Had dinner.
Yeah. There's 5-hour energy for Joe.
And then he did this press conference. I was sitting here, and Chris, I was like, yeah, he needs to hurry. Like, we do have a whole show. And then he said a whole bunch of nothing.
And then he was walking away, and he does the Joe, I'm coming back for more. And
but he said a whole bunch of nothing.
He almost got you off stage, but one more question. No, 2 more.
But did you catch when the Irishman caught him off guard? Was like, you feel this way about Ukraine. Why don't you feel this way about Palestine?
And that was coming from the Irish. And we know Joe has Irish blood.
And that's what disappoints me the most about Joe, is that he always proclaims, just like certain, and let me be clear, certain Irish Americans, because I've met Irish Americans that don't act like this. That's why I'm saying this is why I'm very particular with my wording when I talk about certain subsets of communities. I'm like, Joe, you decided to be a Zionist. Like, you don't know what religion did to y'all in the Irish. Like, they use religion against y'all a whole lot, like a whole lot. A whole lot.
And I only have half of my blood that can relate to that.
Yeah, but these are the same people. When I said, do y'all really want to vote for Joe? You remember that on Facebook when I said, do y'all really want to vote for Joe Biden? And everybody told me to shut up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't telling people to vote for Trump.
Right.
I was just like, do you know why you're voting for Biden? Are you okay with voting for?
Right. And it came down to choice, one or the other. That's what ultimately it came down to now, when they were looking for that candidate to run. Yeah, there's a lot of, hey, we know how Joe was, we know probably how he is, and everyone gave him a pass because, well, he served with Barack. But ultimately it came down to, what way do you want to go with this country? Because we're on the verge of losing democracy. So
but here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, and y'all focus on me. Y'all focus on me, because I don't want y'all to look over there at the resident ginger and try to put this off on him. Focus on me, because I'm about to say something about Obama. Okay? And y'all either gonna be cool, calm, and collective, or come out the bag. And y'all know I don't care either way. Am I appreciative that Barack and Michelle were the first Black people to make it into the White House? Yes. More so because Michelle understood the history that surrounded the land and how the White House became the White House and became rebuilt multiple times as the White House. I will always respect that and I will always appreciate that. And I also understand that Michelle is the powerhouse. See, a lot of people don't realize that Barack was interning for Michelle. She just doesn't want to get into politics, which I can understand because y'all keep calling her a damn gorilla or a man. And she's better than me. If y'all go low, I'm not going high. I'm going to the depths of hell and I'm dragging you down there with me. But I'm a Taurus, okay? And my fellow Taurus will understand. We're going to drag you to hell with us because we're battle tested. Okay, we have built-in air conditioning. We're going to be all right in hell, okay? We're going to kick back our feet and look at you and laugh. It ain't nothing you can do to us in the afterlife that hasn't already been done to us here. But yeah. I digress.
There's fries there too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the perfect place to make fries. But the fact that Barack Obama disassociated himself from somebody who was pro-Palestinian freedom, his pastor from his long-standing church, when he decided to run for president. See, when he was running to get on Capitol Hill, he didn't dissociate himself. And my thing is, when people ask me like, oh, would you ever run for office? I would, but y'all need to be ready for somebody who's going to be real running for office because I'm not going to let go of my friends so I can fit in aesthetic. I'm not taking my piercings out. I'm not going to stop dyeing my hair. I'm going to camp just like Fetterman. I'm going to campaign in my hoodies and my t-shirts. And that's what pissed me off about Barack. Barack decided to become the acceptable Negro. He decided to become one of the talented 10. And if you're not familiar with the talented 10, that was the collection of people that were deemed acceptable by W.E.B. Du Bois. I know he says his name is Du Bois, but his name is Du Bois. He wanted to separate himself from everything Black. But then when it came to his last name, he wanted to separate himself from everything that was white. He wanted everybody to be light-skinned and to toe the line. He would be the type of person right now, today, telling Black folk and anybody with any touch of melanin, don't go across them. Just let Israel kill them Palestinians. But how do you subscribe to a religion with a Jewish Palestinian God? And you think by wiping out the Palestinian God's people for an end times prophecy that would also take out the vast majority of Jewish people that you're asking to help with you is going to be beneficial. Because I don't know about you. If I had to be called back down to earth in order to bring up my descendants, my legacy, and I'm like, so y'all decided to wipe out the vast majority of the family and thought that I was going to bring y'all to the upper room? Y'all thought that was that's y'all plan. We just gonna wipe out the rest of the family. And you think that them being wiped out gave you a head jump over you wiping them out? You a whole bitch. No, you know what? Y'all don't even believe in hell. Y'all believe in purgatory. Go to purgatory. I don't even know what goes on in there, but I done heard about the Catholic priest. So Godspeed with you down there.
Yeah. Yeah, they have cookies down there.
I don't even think they have cookies. I think they have ball gags.
Yeah.
But from that, I don't know. I'm trying to look at like the thumbtacks. And y'all, this is
throw it out there.
My fault. My ADHD got the best of me.
Let's just go for it.
This is what happens when you do one show a week.
Because you know we have a certain individual we still have to talk about.
Oh, we getting to him because I'm holding on to this.
From the land. When it plays in the land.
from the land that set a river on fire.
Yeah, that's yeah.
From the land of a place that set a river on
no,
fire.
we're not talking about Barry Larkin. No.
As much as I wish that we could, I can't. I was at an event recently with him, but Daddy bribed me not to talk about it, so
yeah,
I can't have my bribe till
you didn't say get out the booth, or you didn't say, no. Say when they drop the mic, don't pick it back up. Well, yeah, there were some things you could have thrown in there probably, but yeah, Daddy was there.
But I gotta wait till when I get my gift. Y'all don't understand. I'm gonna open up that gift and then I'm going live and I'm gonna tell y'all everything. But okay, here's video number 2. I don't know. I don't know. If
well,
y'all
we will speak on it.
Control panel from my side, if y'all think that things are like really big, they're not. Okay, they're like M&M sized. So here we go.
And we'll just talk about whatever.
Okay, this one is legitimately a 2 and 2. So we'll see y'all at 2 and 2. Okay, you know what? You got jokes. Hush.
I don't know if y'all have heard about this. This video is being made for educational purposes only, but Republicans bullied Tim Scott so bad. He got so concerned when Republican donors threatened to pull their money from him because he isn't married, that now when he's out publicly in front of cameras, he is showing up with his girlfriend. Now, for those of you who might be curious, that is actually his girlfriend. Her name is Mindy. What the fuck is that? We're just gonna call her Mindy for the sake of the video. I actually used to know Mindy back in school. I remember she used to smell. Anyways, back in September, Scott had told a crowd in Iowa that he was dating, quote, a lovely Christian girl, because of course he was. Shocker, she has no melanin. But he remained tight-lipped when people were asking him when she was going to join him on his campaign trail. But because Republicans are weird when it comes to marriage, and they think if you're not married, that's like an indictment on you, they were going to pull his funding, and he felt pressured, and now he's involving her in his politics. I kind of feel bad for him, honestly. Like, for whatever the reason he wasn't involving her in this, I don't know what she does for a living. She might have nothing to do with politics. I don't know. But if this isn't her area of work, expertise, or whatever, and the only reason Tim Scott is involving her in this is because they were threatening to pull money from him, that's really sad. And also, let's be real about this. Does it surprise...
Okay, y'all know I love our boy, but he's still young. He's still in his 20s. I think he just crossed over the mid-20 mark. That's not Tim Scott's girlfriend. Okay, that is not Tim Scott's girlfriend. First of all, she made up her last name. Okay, that woman does not look like a Noche at all. Okay, and then right after she appears, he suspends. First of all, I hate the fact that when they drop out of a presidential campaign, they suspended their campaign, like they're gonna pop back out right before election day.
Just say you ended.
It's not a suspension. They're not gonna pop back out right before election day next year and go, oh, vote for me. No, it's not a suspension. They shut that shit down.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a girlfriend. That's why he's like, she's a good Christian girlfriend. And then he probably Googled, what does a good Christian girlfriend look like? And that's the best thing. Because if you... Now, I know we do the debates together. And then there's a point in time where we stop. And I know every time we stop, everybody's like, something juicy happens, Taz. I'm like, it ain't nothing juicy. It's some stuff we knew was going to happen. We just didn't want to sit around and wait for that particular moment to happen. And that's what it was so up. That woman, you could tell she was there for a check. No different than the people that you see stand behind Trump at the rallies.
Yeah.
That girl wasn't his girlfriend, because why would you go through all of that to finally pull her up on stage, take all these pictures with her, have her name in the paper, to the next day go, oh, I'm out, because she wasn't for the bullshit. And probably her real boyfriend was like, bitch, he ain't paying you enough. I'll shut all this shit down. I'll do an exclusive and tell them what's really going on.
It's a Cameron move. Maybe he'll take his place.
Cameron can't take no place. Nobody like him. He's so.
He ain't running nothing. Not even his house.
And for those of y'all that still want to think that Daniel Cameron doesn't have a connection to Mitch McConnell, the only reason he went to college is because of a scholarship that Mitch McConnell gave him. Was Daniel Cameron an outstanding student in the state of Kentucky? No. Did Daniel Cameron's family have enough connections that it would have been on Mitch McConnell's radar? No. But Daniel Cameron started brown nosing enough around certain people that they're like, Mitch, you could probably use him for the rest of his life. And Daniel is married legitimately to Mitch's niece.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, it's Mitch's daughter. Mitch doesn't have any biological children. He married a woman with children, but he doesn't. It's his niece. It's his niece. And everybody's like, he doesn't have any connection to the fact. Yes, the fuck he does. And all of us in the Commonwealth know that.
And we know
and
that.
And the thing about it, the wife knows he don't give a shit about her.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. This family is like the Kennedys. They're like, as long as it's, for the right cause. It's just like the Kardashians that keep embarrassing themselves over and over and over again. That's why I love Northwest. Because Northwest, when somebody was like, are you proud of what your mom does for a living? And she's like, what does she do? And Kim was sitting there like, really? You gonna say that? Bitch, your kids know that you're home with them all day long. They don't have a nanny because you ain't there. Because you're not that you ain't there, because you're always there. Yeah. You can't hire a nanny for kids that have deductive reasoning at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, and for those of y'all knew it was coming.
Oh, there it is. There it is. And look what we got. Look what we got. It did not come with that.
Yeah, live on TikTok at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna go over part 1.
And that's just one of them. You had another one coming.
No, it's here. I'm gonna finish this one because it's only 4 parts, and then
there's that one. Look at that.
By popular demand, I am going to for nostalgia's sake, when the Republican National Convention comes back around, I'm gonna pull back out all the Mary Trump books.
There we go.
I'm gonna take y'all back down memory lane.
Back down Mary Lane.
With some information from growing up as a teenager with Trump properties in Cincinnati, Ohio, and how that went down. Because if y'all really want to know how Cat Williams became a comedian, it was joking on the Trump properties that he lived in.
Go Bearcats.
Okay, we got, all right. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Is it? Oh, shoot. Yeah, we got one more video and then we're getting into the article.
Some Kelsey property.
If people think that Kelsey and Swift actually like each other, then I got some swampland to sell to them. Taylor Swift is just trying to redeem her reputation from dating a racist, and Kelsey is pissed off that he listened to some friends and family members that are racist that got him away from the Black woman who was the love of his life. And he's trying to convince himself that ain't where he need to be. Honey, Taylor Swift ain't where you need to be. You about to be a 2-volume record collection. You about to be the headliner of her next tour. Because even though we all know she about to fuck up, well, those of us in Gen X know she about to fuck up this relationship, even though it's a fake relationship. She gonna make you the villain of everything.
She ain't going to everything.
Her millennial Gen Z fans are gonna eat it up. Be like, you broke her heart. No, didn't nobody break her heart.
Yeah.
Because her fans still believe that she's better than Michael Jackson. Honey, what?
And then there'll be a ceremony videoed about all the fans burning Kelsey jerseys because it didn't work out and she no longer goes to the games. And
it's just like the people that are not okay. just like the people with the upcoming Britney Spears memoir that are pissed off on Justin Timberlake for lying about being cheated on her, but are missing the whole point that Justin Timberlake raped her. There's an excerpt that was floating around the internet for weeks, but nobody was catching on that her first time she admitted was with Justin Timberlake. And she told him, okay, go ahead and put it in. And he jokingly said, it's already in. That's rape. But everybody's mad for him cheating. Y'all not mad at the fact that this man raped this woman, got her pregnant, and forced her to have an abortion. But y'all draw the line at him cheating.
But
Y'all don't pay attention to details.
Y'all out there still supporting the old quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Right. Like y'all not paying attention to details.
Mm-hmm. We know it. We know what Mr. Band did.
I don't like him.
We know Mr. Band.
None of them. And real quick before we get into the last video, do you know 3 times this week I was accused of being a super fan of certain politicians, and I was like, me? You sure me?
Yeah.
I don't like no politicians.
Elizabeth? Not Warren.
Definitely not.
Now there's a debate about Bengal fanhood.
Yeah.
That's real. Reds, yeah, it's not always shown, but yeah. FC Cincy, it's hardly shown.
But
it has nothing to do with them having a team.
Well, FC Cincy is
where's the team?
Well, it's usually because I'm
But
out.
They had a tremendous season, and it's still
Yeah, but I'm usually out weathering the weather to support FC Cincy.
Yeah.
And soccer matches are long, so by the time I get back home, I got to get better with giving y'all reviews on stuff that I actually go out and do, because a lot of time I'm learning that people think that I never leave the house. I know I joke about it, but y'all, I do leave the house. I got friends. I do travel.
Yeah.
Like the end of the year, I will be in North Carolina for the end of the year.
And you will somewhere at some point in Cincy bump into Coach Taylor's wife.
First of all,
she's everywhere.
We've already bumped into each other.
She is the extrovert of Cincy.
No, I am still the extrovert of Cincy. Don't be passing off my title to another
introvert of the Commonwealth.
First of all, I'm still the queen of Cincinnati.
Introvert of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, that too. Okay.
Yeah.
You
don't always want to be out in the Commonwealth.
True. But like the end of the year, I will be in North Carolina, and I'm gonna do better with the videos and at least getting pictures of people. Yeah. And then New Year's Eve, it's a toss-up as to where I will be.
Yeah. I'll be in bed.
It's not even for New Year's Eve. It's just January. Yeah. I got some friends and family. Y'all a little mean. But when y'all get done with y'all Taz Fight Club, I'll know where I'll be. But here's the final video before we get into the Deshaun article.
Ooh, Deshaun.
So the internet suddenly hates this guy, and his name's Hassan. And he starts out as a stand-up comedian, and he sometimes makes YouTube videos.
Hey guys.
His YouTube videos lead to him getting his first TV hosting gig on a major network, MTV. And eventually his career starts to take off. He gets his own show on Netflix for a while, he wins a bunch of awards, here he is interviewing Barack Obama, and he allegedly becomes the frontrunner to be the new permanent host of The Daily Show. A huge honor. Everything's going great for Hassan. Until one day, this woman, Claire, Claire works for the New Yorker magazine, and she sees Hassan's stand-up specials, and she decides she's gonna fact-check them. And she finds that some of the stories he tells aren't 100% factual. Not in his TV shows, just in his stand-up. So then she writes this article, basically calling him a liar. And the New Yorker magazine publishes it. It blows up, getting picked up by a ton of other news outlets.
Making up stories.
And the internet really starts going off on Hassan.
I can't believe he lied! I feel cheated. He kind of looks like Ray.
And Claire goes on and does some news media herself. Then other veteran comics come forward and they start to take up for it.
That's what we do. We tell stories, then we embellish them.
But I guess the support wasn't enough, because allegedly, higher-ups at the network inform Hassan he is no longer in the running to be the next host of The Daily Show.
Who took a comic stand-up as factual? Like, that's my thing. And who does this woman know that she wants to be at the desk for The Daily Show? Because never in my life have I gone to a stand-up show and go, this is factual. Yeah, this is true. No.
Yeah.
Like an average person like me, like when I talk about my life online, I talk about my life. Do I think my life is funny? Yes. Do I put it in a funny context? Yes, because to me, it's fun. I live with a dog that acts like a boomer waiting on a pension. Like, how else do you say it? When you see him in action, that's what it does. Like, me, I'm an average person, so that's all I have to draw on. I'm not a stand-up comedian. I don't write jokes. When somebody's writing jokes, as we all know, we've been told this repeatedly, they take an inkling of truth and stretch that into something else. And you notice how they pointed out that it wasn't in his professional life, like on a show where he has to be factual. It's in his stand-up where he's getting people to laugh. So if he wants to talk about his first date that may have been amazing and her name may have been Amanda, but he goes, I was with Sabrina on July 67th, and this is what happened. Who was thinking that was true? Who was taking her seriously?
Who takes a stand-up performance and says that this is something that, oh my God, we got to fact check? Nobody does. You just go for entertainment. You go to laugh. Whatever they tell you, it's either funny or it's not. So I don't recall seeing, Richard Pryor and thinking, I wish we had Google because I need to look up this stuff.
Because we found out after Richard Pryor died that there was a lot that he said that was factual, and we were like, oh, we thought that was just a joke.
Yeah, now if you find out it's factual, you'd be like, wow, he really...
Yeah, because there was one joke that all of us laughed hard on when Richard Pryor used to joke about setting himself on fire.
Oh, yeah.
When we found out he really did that, we were like,
he was open about it, and we knew it because, it was out there about, drug use, all that.
Yeah, but there were other jokes that he had that we're like, okay, we know that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are y'all about to do the estate of Bernie Mac? Because I remember there was a joke that Bernie Mac had where he equated himself to being a bus. Yeah. You gonna sue the estate because he was never a bus?
Yeah. I mean, did everyone look at Eddie's performances and,
Well, let's not. Martin Lawrence did jokes as Shanae.
They all
not a trans woman. Are they gonna sue him now because he's not a trans woman, but he did jokes as Shanae?
I mean, I can take my life and you have 3/4 of it factual, and I'm gonna embellish the rest because I'm on a roll. I'm just like, look, this is some funny stuff. I'm gonna make light of something, and some things are gonna be a little bit extra. But I'm not thinking like, oh my God, someone's gonna call me out on lying about everything I'm talking about.
And here's the thing: I have a friend that used to do stand-up comedy.
You're an entertainer.
And she said that a lot of the inspiration for her jokes will be hanging around friends. And we might do something silly. But in her mind, as a creative, she'll be like, how would that go if this went this way instead of how it went? So she would change the name, and that starting point that she got from something that actually happened would lead to a joke that would crack everybody. But who's going to a comedy show?
Yeah. To fact
Look at
check.
it. My thing is, if you wanted to fact check somebody, if that woman would have came across my profile and go, okay, well, she says she's a historian. We're gonna double. Okay, that makes sense. But a comedian?
Yeah,
A
that's like,
comedian?
isn't that like? I mean, they're entertainment. It's in the entertainment industry.
And
Wouldn't
don't
that
they always tell us to shut up and dribble?
wouldn't that be like a recording artist who's singing about a story? Like, let's say, I mean, there's many artists that have sang about a story, whether it's real, hypothetical, whatever. And people at the end are like, gee, I wonder if that really happened. Wow, what a story that song was. And I mean, it would be like taking like Eminem's Stand and thinking, did a guy really kill him, drive off the bridge? Did that really happen? Oh my God, let's fact check. Whether it happened or not, it's some things you have to take as artistic creativity or
A perfect example is Beyonce.
mm-hmm.
We know how long Beyonce has been married, but Beyonce has brought us breakup songs, heartbreak songs, not having kids songs,
Mm-hmm.
being a single lady songs, all these different, because something. And my thing is, as somebody who writes poetry, as somebody who's currently writing a book, my friends can tell you, I will bounce ideas off of them because I could be watching something on social media, be out to dinner, be walking the dog, and it inspires me. And I'm like, okay, this inspired me to write this poem. Is this true to life? Because it's not necessarily an experience that I'm going through. Like, who's fact check? It's no different than when people were coming after Cardi B going, well, she's rapping about how good her sex game is, but her husband is cheating on her. Baby, that is, first of all, if you think sex is what's going to make or break a relationship, I need you to fully grow up. Two, it's artistry. It's artistry. If something hits somebody and inspires them, did y'all think that Khalees was really making milkshakes in her front yard and that she was attracting minors?
Or Bill Murray?
Like, if you listen to the lyrics, like the way y'all talk, because she says, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Do y'all think that she was out there with a blender in the middle of the front yard making milkshakes?
And the elders to the yard? Because Bill Murray was in the yard, I think. Was he? Was he in the yard? I don't know.
think he was in the yard. I think
no.
I
But
think
she brought an elder to the yard.
I think he was in the sugar daddy slot.
Yeah. But, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Okay. The story that rounds Deshaun Watson to undergo season-ending surgery on shoulder injury. Can we injure his crotch? Can we do that?
I don't know if there's a masseuse for the shoulders now.
There ain't nobody touching him with a 10-foot pole. So the team said Watson suffered a broken bone in his right shoulder during Sunday's win over the Baltimore Ravens. Ooh, the Browns played the Browns. If y'all don't understand what I'm saying, just
ask the Modells.
And surgery is required to, and I quote, avoid further structural damage. Good. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network reported Watson, and I quote, wanted to be shut up so he could play through the injuries. Bitch, you ain't that strong. You ain't that strong. Okay. You damn near bitched out of the fucking trials that were coming your way. But was told after multiple medical opinions that, and I quote, if he got hit again in the same spot, the shoulder could fall apart. Y'all should have let him do it. Y'all should have let him do it. Y'all, first of all, Cleveland, you ain't shit. And this time I'm in agreement with you not being shit, because Scuttlebutt says that for the past month and a half, y'all was trying to figure out ways to let him go anyway. because you were regretting your decision.
Yeah.
Word on the street, if you put your head down on the grass, you could hear it. They wasn't fucking with you, boo-boo. They wanted you gone. So y'all should just send him back out there and let his shoulder just he wanted to act like he was Deion Sanders. He let him act like it. He wanted to be Bo. He wanted to ball like Bo. You should have let him crumble like
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's what the team did with him and his contract was unthinkable and horrific in so many ways. Yeah, you basically rewarded the guy at a time when we know what he did. Like, how do you have that much? You get that much guarantee. How desperate are you, the land? How desperate are you to put out a contract that no one else would put out in a million years because it's all guaranteed? Who does that?
And
For
the
a
thing
guy
is,
that was,
it
and
wasn't
it's not like he was coming off of a Super Bowl season. He hadn't played. He hadn't played.
There are people more
He
talented.
chose to sit
There are
out.
people younger. There are people with no scandals. But that's Cleveland for you. When I keep telling y'all Cleveland is trash, Cleveland's trash. I know.
Some people love the weather up there.
First of all, I know y'all favorite, y'all current Price is Right host got y'all convinced that Cleveland rocks. No, the fuck it doesn't. Let's not forget that Cleveland is the only place where that portion of the Ohio River caught on fire because it was so dirty. Cleveland is under a constant Cleveland dirty. Okay, when your city is under a constant haze of dirt and you're dirty. You're dirty. Okay, the only thing that's second in dirtiness in the state of Ohio is Akron. And why do I say Akron? That's what it got you bitch ass LeBron. And for all of y'all that was talking about me for not supporting LeBron James, how you feel now that you found out that he was a genocidal Zionist? Yeah. How you feel? Y'all was all like, no, he's all about helping the community. And I pointed out to y'all every single way that he was not helping the community, that he was no different than Oprah Winfrey, that he was just tweaking and just fucking the tax code to look good because he knew what he grew up in. No, just like y'all got my article taken down when I talked about how his mama gamed his daddy. And y'all, then now that's, you shouldn't say that. Nah. Only person I got sympathy for is his son that had a cardiac arrest event. No. Y'all are still riding on the wave of him being a McDonald's All-American. Because when has he played a full season since he's been in the pros? Also, when has he been the superstar? He surrounded himself by other people who can do shit.
Yeah. Well,
so, y'all love
well, when you're on a team and you build up
out killing babies.
I mean, I look at it like when it comes to where he's played at, it's been tragic for the cities he's played in because he comes in and of course he's going to talk about building a team around him because he needs it. And as soon as he leaves, those contracts are up. That team usually goes to the basement. So how do you
people, you have to realize when you have a small town boy, and that's what LeBron James is. LeBron James, the only reason people know about LeBron James is because Akron isn't even that big in Ohio, but he was on the outskirts in the suburb of Akron, Ohio. That made him a commodity because you have this kid that's from a place that they're not used to having any type of notoriety for anything.
Yeah.
It's no different than when you have these corn-fed places that don't have a professional team for shit. And they hype up the high school quarterback, this, that, and that's when you have 50 years from now, you got an 80-year-old man telling, yeah, I took him to state. They act like that's the creme de la creme. And y'all also have to remember, let's remember, if you're really a sports head, let's remember the pickings was slim. The pickings was slim in that draft that LeBron was a part of. All of the major ballers had already graduated or were not eligible for graduation at that point in time. Let's not play dumb.
Yeah, they were still allowing high schoolers then.
But even with that, the creme de la creme was already, they were already gone. And you're looking, and they pushed him up as the All-American dream. The only thing that would have got LeBron more money is if he would have been white. Because they were like, oh, he came from this, and it's a small. If you go back in the archives, they didn't talk about his skill level. They talked about him being dirt poor, coming from, it was like an American Idol audition tape.
Yeah.
That's not a reason. And now, when you ask people if they go to a game and see LeBron, I promise you, ask people what's most memorable. And I promise you, they'll be like, well, in the beginning, when he took the chalk and was like, oh, when he made more work for the staff, the underpaid staff.
And he still does it.
That had to run out and clean that stuff up so nobody breaks their neck.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it right there. There are people sitting right there at the table. They don't want this stuff in their hair. I don't want this stuff on me.
And then it's all over the court. They got to come get it off. And I'm like, y'all got to realize he's playing the same game that Oprah played when she tugged at y'all heartstrings saying, I'm opening a school for girls. And she opened it in an obscure place on the continent of Africa, didn't have anything, no checks and balances. And these girls were being abused up and down everything. And y'all do know that the Oxygen Network was the first network that Oprah decided to get into. LeBron is no different than Oprah. Y'all like, oh, he's a philanthropist. What is he doing? Well, he did this for the schools in Ohio. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He gave people more debt. They're like, well, the kids that need to go to school can get bikes. Who was really paying the taxes on them bikes? And by the time they got finished paying for the taxes on the bikes, they could have bought them kids, their own kids' bikes. He put together a charter school. Do y'all not understand the parameters of a charter school? But final thoughts on the night, Chris?
Well, I was almost going to spin that one into when we're talking about people that are hyped. There was a certain quarterback out of Lexington that is now starting for the Titans, which we've talked about in the past. And yeah, there's different backgrounds for people, and some people just end up on day 2 of draft day. But anyways.
Well, you know, there's a defensive lineman who didn't do that great. Oh, actually, there's 2 people that I could be talking about, but both of them, their goals were shattered. One is Daniel Cameron, and the other one is Tim Scott. Oh, y'all didn't know Daniel Cameron tried to play football in the Commonwealth of Kentucky? Yeah, he
did. Did Candace try to?
I don't know, but if y'all
they were
think
following Herschel Walker,
look up Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and tell me how successful you would have been out of a one high school town.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where in the bluegrass is that?
Yeah, just imagine Little House on the Prairie. You know, where everybody's pretty much in one school.
Hey, you'd be a star of any team there.
Actually, let me put it to you like this, Chris. Remember when I lived in Frankfurt and I'll be driving back and forth to visit family?
Yes.
That's one of the 2 cities I drove through when I would get off the highway in my 20-minute drive home.
And it was not Amish.
Nope. Remember when I would get off the highway and it
Yeah.
was like 15 to 20 minutes for me to get home? I drove through both of the, and when I say drove through, like I drove through their downtowns.
And folks, that's not Frankfurt, Germany.
I wish it would have been a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure stuff wouldn't have shut down at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So, first of all, it's always good to be back. So I'm glad we are having opportunities to be back. A lot going on in the world. When isn't there? A lot going on somewhat on streaming. I know we always like to plug stuff because we like to have our mental breaks and binge. There is some good stuff out there if you look. As far as the political world, yes, sometimes we do need to take a break. So once again, everybody, self-care. Very important for all of us. Don't care what you do, what job you have, what your background is, self-care. Got to take a breather, got to take a time out. I know sometimes we go into talking about that and people don't know what self-care is, and shame on you because it's very important. Doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, whether you're single, whether you got kids, don't care. You need to find something that's for you. You need to find time for something that is you.
Yeah, because I had to kick my kids out earlier today so I could have.
I don't care if you do crossword puzzles or if you put a puzzle together. I don't care if you're knitting and sewing. You do whatever you do, but you got to take a break from the world sometimes.
Yeah. Just don't make your self-care be trying me.
Yeah.
I'm hurt your feelings.
Yeah, don't try to counter your knitting abilities. That
too. Don't play with me.
Because we haven't always seen stuff, but believe me, there is stuff that gets done that uses a kit.
The
skills go back.
I have some yarn that's coming in, and I'm gonna go back to like showing people like how I relax. So with the knitting and the crocheting, because I like to combo them. I'm not one of those that only knits, only crochets. I combo them.
So we could have almost like a fun with flags / fun with crocheting or knitting or whatever you want to call it.
My APAC series
you
is
can knit flags. You can knit flags.
One moment.
Oh my
I can't help you with that on Mac.
Okay.
No.
Ignore that voice. Yeah. Siri's a pain in the butt.
Does this to me without being called. You know what this happened?
Yeah, she uses that little accent that's kind of like, is that Delvey? No. If there was an Anna Delvey Siri voice, I don't know what we do. It'd be like a little voice when you hit, can you search such and such clothing store? Yeah, you look broke. You look broke.
I have Cortana, Alexa,
and Anna.
And yeah, Anna is still, y'all, okay.
She just tell you look broke.
I need to figure out how to record it, but like my phone tells me who's calling, because if you're not new, then you know that my left ear doesn't work. So I do need to, have my phone be able to tell me who's calling or who's texting me. So I know, like, oh, if it's business and it's after hours, ignore it. If it's friends or family, let me run to the phone. But the voice that they change it to sounds like Anna Delvey.
Right, so which we don't know what it is.
So now I'm delayed. And so if y'all text me and I'm delayed, that's why. Because I'm getting an attitude like, bitch, why are you on my phone? And then I have to realize, like, shit, this is just the voice that's
right.
I didn't pick it. Like, I don't have a choice regarding the software that's on, because the software is connected to my hearing aid. Yeah. It's not something that I can change. I mean, I could because of my background, but if I change it, it causes me problems with doctor's appointments,
which we don't want. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, Anna's voice is like that stew, like you were saying earlier, like a stew of we don't know what it is. I mean, she just pulls off the.
Well, just like when we did the recap of the docuseries,
Mm-hmm.
we were so confused because I'm like, I either
what?
ran it through voice, I ran it through voice recognition, I ran it through people that are in tutoring groups with me for different languages.
Yeah.
Nobody could pinpoint, and I'm like, and they were like, how did she defraud people? And I was like, we trying to figure that out. I don't know.
I mean, she kept it from being like, oh, she's got to be from here, because when you run into people that are probably from your area, your location, you recognize an accent. But yeah, no, everyone's like, what do you call it? So yeah, she puzzled a lot of people, but she benefited off a lot of people too.
But I will say the one chick that claimed that she got screwed the most by Anna, but didn't want to sue Anna, didn't want to come up. She wrote a book. Honey, you should have, you should have got on the bandwagon with everybody else.
Was it the hotel? Was it the hotel girl?
No, the girl that wrote the book. The one, remember the one that wanted to distance herself? Nobody bought her book.
The one that made the trip.
Yeah, the one that Anna ran her credit card.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I was like, I would have told on that, but that's just me.
Yeah. Anyways, all right.
But thank you all for joining us. I would say I would see you tomorrow, but that would be a lie. I will see you all tomorrow over, like I said, over on TikTok. We're going to talk about the first part. Remember, that will be chapters 1 through 3 for the Cassidy Hutchinson.
Yeah, these aren't names we usually talk about.
Well, not only that, even Cassidy's mother said that she knew that her name would be a tongue twister for people because her full name is Cassidy Jacqueline Hutchinson. And her daddy called her Sissy Hutchinson. And before y'all get offended, it's not like sissy like derogatory, like sissy like sister.
Right. From Cassidy.
Yeah, it was when they found out that her mother was going to have a younger sibling, they started calling her Sissy like sister.
Yeah.
So, and I realized that being Caribbean and now living in the South, we do use sissy a lot and people take offense to it. And it's like, we're not being derogatory. We say sit like sister. It's like sissy is the older sister. Kind of like Sissy Houston, Whitney Houston's mama. Think of it like that. When you see a black, brown, indigenous person say sissy, think Sissy Houston. That's
yeah.
But as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. And y'all, like I said, make sure y'all check out the links in the description of the video because y'all don't be doing that. Y'all don't be doing
no merch yet. No merch yet.
No, I'm going to redesign some sweatshirts because Sean Patrick, my youngest, he showed up in the first sweatshirt that I ever designed and it was still looking good. And I was like, I could do something with that design again.
Throwback.
So I had everything ready to launch tonight, but then y'all know me. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. And since I had
it's going to be done right or it's not going to be available, people.
Exactly. I'm not going to give y'all poor quality. And that was the very first sweatshirt I ever put out. So 3 years later, to see how it kept up, it's still in good quality. But then I'm like, let's change this type of ink, how the ink is on this fabric. Like, to make it last longer. And I know me and my kids wear hoodies and stuff like that way more than the average person. So y'all probably wouldn't be washing it as much as we do. But still, it's better for me to be proactive than to waste y'all money.
So stay tuned, people.
So, just give me like 2 more weeks to get my ideas out and work with the fabrics and all that good stuff.
Yes.
But as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. We'll see y'all next week. Ew. Bye.